Today I am putting an MG steering wheel on Melvin. Yes, this is the original steering wheel. Yes, it's quite a comfortable steering wheel, but it's not particularly sporting. And the steering wheel I'm putting on is this one. Well, that one, actually. Yes, it gives an MG logo, which isn't quite right for the Rover, and it doesn't quite suit the character of this car. And yes, it's got red stitching around the outside. But it's a much nicer steering wheel. It's a lot sporty feeling. It's slightly small. It feels like it's slightly smaller anyway, even though it doesn't necessarily look it. And it's leather bound as well, even if the leather is in absolutely awful condition. But anyway, so first I need to get this steering wheel off. So I'll use a screwdriver and carefully pry this centre section out. Look at that. Isn't the Rover logo just awesome? That's not focusing. It's just a fantastic logo. Fantastic badge, crest, emblem, whatever. And this bolt in here, which is like tucked right into it, which is apparently a safety feature. They actually say this thing in product insights and stuff like that, that the bolt of the steering wheel is far down, it's recessed. Apparently that's safer, even though you've got a hard plastic cap on it. Anyway, 33mm, and an impact socket was the only one that I could find from Halfords, so yeah, so let's get this the right way around. Yep. Get it oriented right. Let's see if I can get it on, because again it's so snug and deep down and at the top of the thing that this kind of... There you go. Oh. Well, that wasn't particularly tight. Flipping heck. I did not expect that to be so loose. Or maybe it's just because I'm really, really strong. I don't know. Let's hope it's the second one, eh? There you go. There you go, there's your 33mm nut, which is an odd size, but there we go. Put them up there. Oh, actually, will it just come off? Yes, it will. Rookie error number one. I took the bolt off. Nut, sorry. These can be hard to get off, but that came straight off. So again, maybe it wasn't so tight on there. The new one will be tight on there. So now, this mad new MG wheel, and this little collar here is what does your self-cancelling indicators. So when you put your indicator on, turn around a corner, it clicks. I'll probably need two hands for this, and then when it comes back round, your indicator cancels. And it does that with a little notch on the back of the steering wheel here. You just see it there? So on the top of the steering wheel, there's a little notch which goes into that groove there and self-cancels your indicators. But early Metros used two notches on the back of their wheels, and at some point in about, I think it was about 1985, or no, late 84 it would have been. I don't know. Someone will correct me. They switched from having two notches on the back to just having one because they didn't need two notches. And so this steering wheel from a 1982 Mark 1 MG Metro had two notches, but I've gone at it with a hacksaw and a file and got it down to that point, which is good enough. So this steering wheel will now go on. All Metros, well, Mark 1, Mark 2 and Mark 3 Metros all use the same splines, even though they use different steering columns. The Rover Metro's got a different steering column than the Austin Metros and MGs, obviously. But the splines are the same, apart from on the Mark 4 Metros or Rover 100s, which have a different steering column because they put different stalks and a different steering wheel with an airbag in it. Well, you could get it with an airbag. You get my drift. So let's get that lined up. So yeah, so this steering wheel fits perfectly, even if it doesn't quite fit the style and it doesn't quite fit the shroud. But I've had to do some work on the little notch thing that does self-cancelling indicators. Anyway, come on. Let's just get that lined up. There you go. the notch has gone in. And there you go, and instantly, flipping heck, it's so much, it's not as relaxed a steering wheel, you know, your hand position moves up slightly. But I love the leather, and yeah, that's awesome. I love that. The indicators feel slightly further away. You might also notice that my steering column shroud is crooked, because I think the entire steering column has been taken out of this car at some point and put back in slightly crooked, but, you know. 30-year-old car, what are you going to do? Right, washer. What the hell was that? No idea. And finally the nuts. Now the nut's actually in the centre of this wheel rather than right at the top and right at the back, so it's easier to get to. Yeah, there is a little date wheel inside this one. It says 1982, so it's from a 1982 MG Metro. The Mark II MG Metros had a different design of steering wheel, which is pretty close to the one that was on Melbourne originally, just with an MG badge. It also has a little British Leyland roundel there, which pleases me for some reason. I'm a bit of a weirdo. But these steering wheels can be quite expensive, but this one was really cheap. I got it for £13 off eBay, which I don't know how I managed to find it that cheap. They're usually a lot more expensive. But I found it that cheap and bought it. I didn't want it. It didn't need to be an MG one. I wasn't bothered about having the MG badge or I wasn't really bothered about the leather or having the red stitching or anything like that. But this was the cheapest. I'd have probably preferred one that just said Metro in the middle of it, because it's, you know, it fits more in the character of this car. But I will put up. I'll just have to put up with an MG steering wheel. You know how it is. So yeah. Don't know why I'm struggling to get. There you go. That's on, and that's tight. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Doesn't quite fit in with the shroud again, and the indicators are obscured by the spokes, but that just feels awesome. I love it. I love it so much. It feels more open as well. It feels as though I can see more things. I don't know. Actually, no, I probably can, because the spokes on this one are much, much bigger. No, it is slightly bigger, the old one, yeah. The old steering wheel is slightly bigger. I don't think it's not that much bigger. It certainly isn't an inch. But yeah. Anyway. That's now tight. Let's check if the self-cancelling indicators work. There you go. Predictably they work. That's just so awesome. And finally, just to round it off, make sure I get it in the centre. Not in the centre, the right way up. Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, I'm so happy with that. I kind of doubted a little bit when I got the MG steering wheel. I thought, oh, well, will it like corrupt the style of the car? And, you know, this car isn't a growly car. It's a very sweet little car. It makes a sweet little noise and feels cute, not sporting like an MG should or would. But yeah, that's awesome. I don't think that's quite in the centre, but there you go. But before when I bought this, the leather was in terrible condition. It was filthy, the steering wheel. That's probably part of the reason why it was so cheap. But if I just put that down. But I've absolutely lathered it in the plastic bit in Autoglim's vinyl and rubber care. That's really good stuff. I use it on obviously interior stuff, but also as a top coat on the bumpers and stuff, because it applies a little bit of a sheen and it's quite hard wearing. So, well, hard wearing as it would be, but it doesn't. The blackness of the bumper stays for a bit. I digress. Autoglim vinyl and rubber care on the plastic bits in the centre, and that's come up all right. That's, well, better than leather has anyway, because at the end of the day, you know, whoever bought the MG Metro this came off originally, yeah, I reckon this is either quite a high mileage MG Metro or spent a lot of time in the sun, because especially around this side of the wheel, there's a lot of, it's very cracked, the leather, it's not brilliant, and, or it's just been sat in a shed for 20 years, and it's gone horrible, I don't know. Anyway, so I did that, and then, God, if I can just, and then I used Ausclim's leather cleaner on the leather, and the cloths I was using came out black. It was filthy. I could have caught the virus from it. It was that filthy. And then Ausclim's leather balm, which obviously feeds the leather, and it's come out so much nicer because this leather was in such bad condition, especially around this side. It's actually come out all right, but on this side it's still not brilliant. But there you go. I have a new steering wheel on Melvin. That was a short little video, but I hope you enjoyed it because I absolutely adore this. That's just so awesome. Oh, I mean, I always wanted a steering wheel that's this design, because there was a woman on my road years ago when I was a kid who had a Mini Advantage, which was a special edition Mini from the late 80s. I think it was an 87. And it had this style of steering wheel, obviously without the leather, and it said Austin in the middle of it. But the car that I always had in my head, well, I always wanted a Mini originally, and the Mini in my head was always an Advantage because of that woman in it, and therefore it always had this steering wheel with the Austin badge in the middle of it. And so ever since I got Melvin, I've always wanted to put this style of steering wheel on. I always wanted. I didn't want a Rover 100, partially because I prefer earlier Metros, but also because you can't put this style of steering wheel on. I always wanted to put this style of steering wheel on, and I found one, and I'm not regretting that one bit. It is smaller, definitely smaller. That feels so much cooler. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for watching. I'm trying to do more videos, as you might have noticed. I'm doing 2 a week rather than 1. Even though, you know, in lockdown I've not got as many video opportunities. I'm having to make do and stuff like that. I want to put out more content because it's nice. I enjoy doing these, and I want to make the channel a little bit bigger. So yeah, this was just a little, you know, little 10-minute clip into my life and what I've been doing with Melvin and putting on this mad MG steering wheel, which I'm so in love with. That's awesome. But yeah, thank you for watching. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep doing all that kind of stuff, and I'll see you again next week, or on Wednesday actually, depending on when this video is uploaded, because I'm doing 2 videos a week now. So much content. Anyway, see ya.